I'm just realizing how many people I have to thank, and I mean, I always know how much I've got to be thankful for, and I try to express that. And that last video was lengthy, I understand. This one might be too, but of course, there's more to come. Um, and the things I just wrote are just read in the last video. That they were already journaled, so to speak. But much like a lot of this one's going to be, I'm just reading it to just to make it known that I'm trying to stay on top of this. Anyway, here we go again from a different link from a different website. I owe a tremendous amount of gratitude, thanks, and praise to a hell of a lot of people, agencies, organizations, etc. Of course, most importantly to God for so many things in my life. At the moment, this list is incomplete as well as in random order. This list is just to say thank you at this point. Talking about gratitude is fruitless and as appealing to me as conversation about a woman on a daytime talk show that drank too much fiber supplements. Anyway, I say this because gratitude's an action, not a sentiment. I'll do my best throughout my entire life to pay my undying gratitude in all areas in hopes that it will be seen as my appreciation is sincere. Thank you so very much. Christopher, thank you for everything. You have shown me that you truly are a lovely man through your understanding, compassion, sympathy, humor, generosity, observant nature, kind-hearted well wishes, as well as everything else our personality is comprised of. Your personality is comprised of. Nurses everywhere could learn so much by following the example you set just by being yourself. Thus providing the patients they have interactions with the most comfortable hospital experience as humanly possible. I know you could teach your colleagues a few things leading to tax dollars being properly spent. I do believe that as a result of your kind spirit, generosity, and willingness to go the extra mile at work, you spared me the agony that seemed inevitable. Your kind words will accompany me on my every travel. Of those kind words, the most poignant being, Jason, good to see you, lad. Little on the skinny side, but you look well. Let's get healthy, yeah? Jason, long time no see. We have to stop meeting like this. Stay well. Jason, another vacation, lad? Why not stay well enough so that this is the last one? Christopher, over the course of time during my stays in hospitals, some of the nurses I've encountered have made it blatantly clear that your personality and good nature are obviously not a job requirement, just by showing that they either do not have the ability to be the nurse that you are, or simply by lack of desire to do so. Good on you for being good enough person to rise above the call of duty and allow every patient, including myself, to experience the comfort and care well above the standards that you make look like an injustice, as they pale in comparison to the standards you have obviously, and quite remarkably, I might add, set for yourself. Bloody hell, Christopher, I just wanted to say thank you, but now that I have completed the 12-chapter thank you to Christopher, I must elaborate on this section more than I anticipated. How about this then? Thank you, you bloody plonker. Okay, perhaps not suiting. Thanks, Wally. Thank you, Christopher. I must go smoke now. To the Alpha Society in Calgary, the staff and volunteers at the Alpha House work so hard with so little and provide so much to so many individuals as in need, as well as reach out to those that are not utilizing the amenities available through the Alpha House. When the weird Calgary weather got harsh, the darkest nights got darker, the scary moments became terrifying, my empty stomach screamed for help. The Alpha House eased all of that and more. For the months I spent living on the streets in Calgary, Alberta, after my relationship with the One met its demise. Thank you so much, Alpha House. This one's going to be really long, but too bad. As odd as this may sound, Rob Thomas, yes, Rob Thomas, the artist, singer, songwriter, lead singer of the most amazing band to ever play a note of music. I won't go into full detail here just now. Rather, I am going to touch briefly on as to why, in no particular order, he made me realize it's okay to be a little fucked up. It got me through the toughest times, things, events, nights, situations, etc. Sang me through the inebriation to the walk which he and the rest of Matchbox 20 walked with me on the road to rehab and sobriety, through maintaining the reputation they so deserve as a result of the blessings their music gives. You introduced me to me over and over, called me buddy in Hamilton just before a concert, Cops Coliseum, when I chased after you in hopes of getting a picture. When I yelled out, Rob, just one more picture, man. He turned and replied, I'll be right back, buddy. This part was a little humorous side, despite the fact I actually knew he wasn't coming back. At the concert that night, he dedicated the song Unwell to me and people like me that are enlightened enough to know it's okay to be a little fucked up. Finally accepted my friend request on MySpace, despite knowing he has tons of others on his list that I will never likely hear from him in direct contact. And that's rare for me to utilize that forum these days. So many other things that Rob and the others in the band have gifted me with as a result of doing what they love to do. Kyle Cook, lead guitar for Matchbox 20. The same day of the concert that I just made mention of, my former life mate, human savior at that time, and I were standing out front of the hotel. I was sure the band was staying in the night before. I looked in the window in the lobby, and I was sure I saw Kyle Cook sitting in the chair, listening to music through his earphones. I excitedly said, "Holy Jossie, look, that's Kyle." She said it couldn't be. We went inside. Lo and behold, Kyle Cook was sitting in the lobby alone. I was incredibly uncomfortable doing it, but I approached him and I said, "Hey, Kyle." He didn't hear me, so I tapped on his shoulder and said, "Hey, man, I hate to blow your serenity here before a big concert, but I got to talk to you." He removed his earphones, pointed at the empty chairs in front of him, and said, "No problem." His earphones said, "Hey, man, have a seat." Like a little boy, I was so excited. I was too excited to sit down at first, but eventually did. He talked to Jassy and I for nearly 15 minutes about everything we wanted to talk about. For the most part, we discussed mental illness and the song Unwell, and how I've experienced so many of the same type of things Rob as well as Kyle have been through. Not mental illness, so to speak, but everything. After talking a long time, Kyle broke off saying he had to go get ready for sound check and see who was out front, as well as other things I didn't catch as a result of being too starstruck. I remember trying to be Mr. Macho or manly to hide it from Jassy, my ex. As she said, "You're so cute when you meet your idols." It didn't work, obviously. She said I was too cute. Anyway, I made a final request of Kyle before he departed. Please, if you can, try hard to fit the best song you guys have ever put out tonight into the set. The song Cody. He was honest and told me it was not on the set list, and he would talk to Rob and see. But it had been a long time since they performed it live. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Anyway, thanks, guys. I just realized how long this got. This applies to all areas of my life since 1997, when I first heard the sweet sounds of Matchbox. Even my most recent trials and tribulations, as well as love stories. I would really love to show you guys the videos I made, sentimental gifts, using your music in the background. Thank you for continuing to play and write the soundtrack of my life. Salvation Army. Need I say more? Salvation Army extended love and care to me in Calgary as well as in London, Ontario. In Calgary, the Salvation Army loaned me much needed aid in many forms, working with me to provide shelter at a cost within my nearly non-existent budget, to feeding me when I nearly collapsed in the middle of the night on a deadly cold night, and provided a mattress to sleep on when all other resources were exhausted. In London, Ontario, standing up in court for me, telling the Justice of the Peace that they'd be happy to accommodate me if the courts decided to grant me bail until my dealings with the law had been settled. Thank you so much for feeding me, giving me the freedom we all so desire, providing 3 meals a day. Thank you, Jessica, without allowing to pack 5 minutes into 30 seconds to listen to me harp and holler about my ongoing situations, needs, and projects, and ask many questions when I impede on your work. So much would end up going undone. Josh, Rob, Aaron, thank you for the morning simply making a minor mess and allowing me to clean it. Sarah, your patience and sense of humor rock. Your extension of doing what you do the extension of what you are at work to do is awesome, further to putting up with my odd sense of humor and misdialed calls, rambling about something meant for another agency, and keeping a sense of humor in the light of all of it helps keep my dark days and cold nights. Keeps light of my dark days and cold nights, as well as everyone else involved in the Center of Hope Salvation Army in London, Ontario, also including Rob from Withdrawal Management Floor, including for the encouragement, belief, advice, direction, and guidance freely given upon humble request. the London Inner Community Health Clinic in London, Ontario. Simply amazing. You guys are simply amazing. That doesn't quite cut it, however. It does give insight into the services provided from your office, from the outreach to the doctors, to the nurses, and all other healthcare providers, to the front desk staff, and everything else offered freely, given with a smile. I'm more than nourished. That, though, is not to say that your services and extensions that are all covered here. Thank you for the smallest things, be it enough food to get me through a couple of days because I hit a rough patch for whatever reason, or allowing me to come in to pick up my mail that you have allowed me to receive at your office when coming in to have a shower, do laundry, and see, in my mind, the best doctor anyone could ever ask for. For over a decade, you guys care. Your care, guidance, compassion, concern, and so much more has in so many ways brought me back to health when needed, maintained my health as needed, given me a guide to live by, and not forget where I have been and done, and where I have been and what I have done, and in many cases helped me overcome. My dearest friend Sue, open irons in a silk blouse. Open arms in an iron silk blouse. Open iron arms in a silk blouse is one of the best descriptions. Okay, maybe not a description, but a term I made up to describe you briefly. Best description I can give to shine light on just a small area of wonderful meanings, of your wonderful meanings to me. Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, worldwide, thank you. Feels as though I'm at war with fatigue at this point, thus leading me to resort to listing names without elaboration at the moment. Rest assured, though, I will finalize these as well as the many other listed here in the near future. That will be in the next video.